Welcome to Growth TV. I'm Katie Maloney. As we enter the new year with what we all hope will be a rebound for deal making, ACG has put together a host of resources to help drive growth, regardless of what the coming months hold. Brent Baxter, ACG's CEO, joins me today to talk about what we're most excited to share with our members in 2024. Brent, welcome back to Growth TV. I know we have a full calendar planned out with education and networking opportunities for 2024. Can you talk about what ACG members can expect from our event lineup in the coming year?
Well, ACG is just a remarkable organization for events. We have large national events, large regional events, and just as importantly, nearly 1,500 local events across all of our chapters. There's really something for everybody. Let me first talk about our big event, DealMax, going to be in Las Vegas in April. That is our largest annual conference. We expect upwards of 3,500 attendees. And it's really the conference with something for everybody. A little tidbit of that, while we're on that property, we expect to schedule nearly 14,000 one-on-one meetings, every one of those related to making the market efficient for deal flow in the middle market. Pretty exciting. We have a large number of regional events all across the country. Beginning in the spring, we have in February, Atlanta's M&A South Conference, well over 1,000 people. The Rocky Mountain Growth Conference in Denver, nearly 1,000 people. The Texas Capital Connection in April, once again, well over 1,000 people. Huge events that create opportunities for deal makers to meet each other and find deal flow and find best practices. Another thing we're sort of really committed to is more bespoke events, more customized events as we roll into this new year. And sometimes those are going to sit side by side with our larger conferences. But we just completed a operating partner conference summit in New York City where we had about 40 operating partners. Now, those are the folks that are making decisions inside the private equity community about post-merger integration, human resource integration, the use of rep and warranty insurance in deals, and really, really granular kind of events like that. And it's 40 people of the right type in the room, and it's a high content education event that our sponsors are just thrilled with, and we're going to be doing a lot more of that this year. We're doing a lot more collaboration this year as well. We have chapters cooperating. We have some classic examples like our Great Lakes Capital Connection or our Texas Capital Connection, where chapters have jointly pooled together. But coming up in the spring, we have a collaboration between our Boston, Connecticut, New York, Philadelphia, Toronto chapters. Now, might have something to do with they all get to go to Stowe in Vermont, and that could cause some of that cooperative spirit, but just a wonderful event, and encourage you all to take a look at it. Another area you're going to see a lot more in this year and even more so in the coming years is industry vertical conferences. So as an example, New York's annual healthcare conference is coming up in February. We just completed an ag tech conference in October. We're going to renew that in 2024. The West Coast, Washington, D.C. are talking about collaborating on a aerospace and defense conference. This year it'll be held in Los Angeles in the fall. And that's a big theme across all of ACG, more relevant content, better connections among relevant groups. Our industry has moved to industry specialization, and ACG is being responsive to that by launching these sort of more specific conferences around industries and around topics.
And Brent, you mentioned some of the ACG events that are structured around particular industry verticals. What are some of the other ways that ACG is following the continuing trend of specialization and thematic investing that we're seeing in the market?
Great. The whole effort for industry vertical thematic investment first starts with understanding our membership and our membership data. As you know, we have a very large membership and thousands of private equity funds and family offices and independent sponsors and investment banks. And we're making some pretty concerted efforts to really dive down deeper into our membership data, work with some of our partners out there to better understand exactly where our members are focused, what industries they're invested in. And once we have that data understanding, well, then we can really use that in a number of ways. First, we can use it to create industry events, already mentioned, healthcare conferences, aerospace conferences, and there's more to come there. We can also use that to improve our scheduling. So folks who attend our conferences, whether it's DealMax or M&A South or Toronto, they use a tool called ACG Access. It's a very robust scheduling tool that enables those 13,000, 14,000 one-on-one meetings to occur in Las Vegas and other locations. We're going to integrate that tool into our member databases so that we can provide attendees more targeted, more curated meetings. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, if you're going to come to DealMax and you're an aerospace and defense private equity focused firm, you're going to want to meet the investment banks and the other M&A partners who have significant exposure to and deal flow in and around aerospace. We're integrating that member data effort with our scheduling tool so that folks can get more relevant meetings. On top of that, as everybody knows, we own GF Data. We bought that company almost 2 years ago now, and that is launching industry vertical publications in analytics. So we just launched a healthcare report, and in January we'll be launching manufacturing and business services. And that provides our members a wealth of information. Well, first, good news, that GF Data tool is telling us that deal flow is increasing, deal volume is increasing, and multiples are increasing. So we've had kind of a sluggish period in the industry, and all the signs are that we're in a turnaround mode moving into 2024, more activities, stronger financing, stronger interest in deals. And that's pretty exciting for all of us, and a good reason to come to all those big events to make sure you're not missing out on those deals, because we're going to have lots of deal flow at M&A South, at the Dallas Houston Capital Connection, and M&A South, and don't forget about being in Denver. So the valuation side is robust and frequent. At the end of the third quarter, we're publishing manufacturing, and that was a good report. It said that multiples were increasing, and that's good for sellers, makes it a little tougher on the buy side, but everybody does better in strong markets with plenty of deal flow.
And you've spoken in the past about how the networking opportunities that you personally had through ACG were essential to your career. How is ACG moving to improve networking for our members this coming year?
Yeah, I think as a refresher, I think most folks who have seen any of these in the past know that I come to this role as the CEO of ACG, having been an investment banker for 20 plus years, and that ACG was just so critical to the success of the firms. It's how we found deals, it's how we got deals done, it's how we found buyers, it's how we found financing, it's how we learned best practices, it's where we found data rooms, it's all of the above. But as we approach now 15,000 members, we can't just have it be random, because as effective a networker as I might have been, there was no way I can meet 15,000 people. So we're investing again in data here, data to make more relevant connections, to make it easier to find relevant connections. So couple parts of that. One example is the One ACG initiative. We now have merged, we have 18 chapters under a merger agreement. It's about 42% of ACG chapters. And the way that enhances connectivity is it's essentially a singular management team that is working with all those chapter executives, and they're in daily conversations about how to work better together. And also because they're together, It's about what's good for us, not what's necessarily good for an individual chapter. So an example of that would be a New York conference that's focused on healthcare. That should be a national conference. It shouldn't be proprietary to just one chapter. So that's a big area of investment. Another area that I'm very excited about is to grow our private equity C-suite group. So those are the people inside the private equity firms who are making the decisions about what law firms to hire, who's going to help with post-merger integration, how to find a solution to an environmental problem, how to find better talented executives. And we want to get that group together with our remarkable set of M&A advisors. Those are the folks that have immense industry-leading knowledge, whether it's in the accounting, legal, environmental, HR. We just have tremendous knowledge, and we need to get those folks together. I mentioned the conference where we had about 40 of the right attendees, those folks that really make decisions. So we're going to have a lot of conversations this year, and over the next 2 or 3 years, we really hope to build that private equity C-suite offering and get more and more of those folks engaged with the right people inside of ACG. And oh, by the way, that connects directly to our corporate initiatives. Our corporate acquirers are 10% of our membership, and they want that same knowledge. They want understanding of best practices of how middle market M&A gets done, and offering those content sessions, in some cases with professional certification credits, as I already mentioned. We're really going to make effort to get those folks back in the room and get those folks a real solid value proposition from ACG.
Well, it certainly sounds like ACG has an exciting year ahead. I appreciate your time today to walk us through it, Brent. Thanks for joining Growth TV.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.